fine. Oh. You want to run the winch?
Yeah.
Did it cut on anything? We're good still?
Just need to move that pulley thing.
Oh yeah, we're on the block. Let it rip, it'll go over it.
Let her rip a little too hard.
Slopey. All right. Pull it in. Okay, just go, just gotta move it over just a little, eh? Okay, go slow, kind of slowish. We just want to get the front tire straight to the end of the ramp, then we can push the rest. Okay, that should be good. Is there put a pulley under that tire? On the backside? Cool. Now this disaster. Should we just leave it up the whole time? The patina.
You want me to hold it so it goes down straight?
Gentle. Wasn't even that sketchy.
Should we do like an intro for the video?
Dan here, TD's Feet Shop. Today we're moving the box off the truck. No, so we're gonna change the rear suspension. That's the plan. We gotta get a little metal though, because there's a little bit of rot on the one side. But last night, all the Speedway stuff showed up. Ta-da! Don't show our address or my list of fears, but we got disc brakes. I think we got some Kingpin stuff. I don't know if I'm gonna use it or not. We'll see what the front end's like. But the disc brake was a big part of it. I was waiting forever for that through alternate company. And anyways, Speedway had it in stock. And the big one is this kit here, I believe, which is like a bolt-in 4-link. So that's kind of what I want to get to the bottom of today. Because, well, it sits high in the front, which I don't really like. So either A, we got to decide if we want to lift the back up, which is one option, so it can sit at the front height. It might change it a little bit too, or if we're going to pull some leaf springs out of the front, which I think that might be the plan, just pull like 1 or 2 leaves. I really like how low the back was sitting. I don't know where you're at on that.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's literally this kit, I believe. I didn't do a whole lot of research, but you're literally going to unbolt the front shackles, and it bolts on there as like a 4-link deal. I guess maybe we'll have to move that. And then it puts the rear end where you want it, and then there's a crossbar if you put it in, or if it uses this, and it's got a set of coilovers that attach to the diff. I don't know how that's all going to work. I guess we'll figure it all out. It's designed to lower the truck, so that's pretty cool. Or obviously it's adjustable, but it should lower it. Put that on there. We have that 12 bolt of the Nova, which I believe is the exact same width as this. I'm pretty darn close. So we'll put that in there, and it'll obviously, well, I don't know how much it'll eliminate. This thing has a lot of room between the leaf spring and the tire, but we should be able to put a pretty meaty tire on this thing just for kind of a good look. And then while we're at it, I mean, I might straighten out this little bit of the frame section there, and yeah, kind of see what we end up with. But it should be kind of pretty quick. I've already C-notched this thing, so that's cool. But I'm pretty sure on that side, in between where the shackle or the hanger was, it got a little, yeah, it got a little crunchy in there, a little rusty. So I may have to kind of cut that out and plate it or do something like that. Is probably the plan. And I was thinking we should probably plate it anyways, just that's where all the suspension's going to bolt to. So let's make sure it's nice and strong. That's the only modification I think we're going to do. Otherwise, that's kind of planned for, I don't know, today, tomorrow, next couple of days. I like to get the rear end in, sorted, and then it should be really actually nice at the pinion angle and all that, because it's going to be like on the ground with the weight on it and everything. So yeah, we can do that, get it up. Then we'll do the front brakes, and maybe, like I said, pull a leaf spring out and have this thing like sitting how it should sit, which would be really cool. Put the box on, bolt it in. The box is rotten. I mean, all the wood in it's rotted, but we can deal with that anytime, really. Or just leave it as is, put a sheet of plywood in it. It's probably what's going to happen for the time being, because we spent all the money on a 4-link kit. Priorities. Honestly, the 4-link kit was, I think it was $1,200 or something like that. It wasn't cheap, but when you factor in rebuilding all the leaf springs and stuff like that, it was like at least half of the way there, all these shackles. It's super, well, I had trouble finding all this stuff, especially in Canada. And then we'd have to pull either a bunch of leaf springs out or do whatever we gotta do there, or they sell drop leaves. But by the time you buy drop leaves, change all the bushings, all the shackles, all that sort of stuff, or put taller shackles in, it was like most of the way this 4-link kit. And then obviously we're changing the rear end anyways, because we don't want this old junk 6-lug wheel. So I thought, we can save money on the diff because it was free, so we'll spend it over there and kind of work our way out, is the way I was looking at it. So anyways, but right now we have super tall priorities. We're going to puppy yoga. So we'll be back after that, and we'll start jamming this rear end together. Maybe. I also want some breakfast. Pretty fancy stuff here. So we're back. We're back.
How is puppy yoga?
It's pretty good.
We'll put a picture right here.
Of the puppies. So basically,
For everyone asking, we didn't bring home a puppy.
not yet. We got ourselves a little 4-bar kit, and I mean, I guess you could probably DIY this, but this is, you know, kind of everything you need. It's nice. It's got a set of heims. It's got like bushings and stuff, so it should ride, well, good. Semi-factory. Got some instructions here. So, I tried ordering this a couple of times. Every time I was going to do it, Speedway was out of stock. That's how you know, I guess it's a pretty good kit. So, pretty simple deal. I actually thought this was, it's the same or not, but basically, this piece here is going to replace, I don't know if these are front and back, left and right or not. That's going to replace that. So that'll be something like there. And obviously it's drilled. So our 4 bars will go back. Totally adjustable. And then they'll join this, which is where the diff will sit. We'll have to weld that in. So the 4 bars will go there. That's our brace that goes across the top for our coilovers, which are in there, and then a panhard bars to keep the rear end from going side to side. So a pretty simple unit. This is one of those things I'm sure like the first one costs a bunch of money to make, and then after that it's all just a bunch of relatively simple-ish things. And then some pair of shocks here. So this will just run under the bed. And we should be set. So I was going to go ahead and read the instructions a little bit. Danny has to go. You guys keep buying t-shirts all the time, so Danny has to keep running the post office. We have all that, so we said, I'm going to go through the instructions here. But I'm assuming I've already got the front section. I already blew all the rivets out, so it's just bolt in, so that's super easy. And then back here, I gotta do the same thing. I just gotta blow out these rivets, and then the back shackle will come off, and then we should be able to kind of, well, the whole truck will be hanging on the lift. Slide that right out. Then we can clean up a little bit. Like I said, I think I gotta do a little bit of welding on the frame, and I'm fighting out. I mean, I guess there's probably a fair bit of strength there. It does have this brace that runs across, so maybe it doesn't need to be too crazy. I was gonna try and plate on the inside. Is it raining like crazy out there? I was thinking about plating the inside as well, but let's be honest, for what we're doing, probably doesn't really need it. Bummer. Ugh. The weather goes back and forth here like crazy. So yeah, that's gonna be the plan for today. We should be able to get the 4 bar all set up, and then maybe on the next one we'll pull the rear end out, play with that a little bit, get it locked in. Like I said, do a little bit of messing around here. I don't know if the shock, if this brace comes through. Oh, it must actually, now that I see it. There was, this must have to come out all together, and then that post that goes in, there's a big sleeve in it, which probably runs across. I love how, instead of, you know, using the instructions, I just assume I know what I'm doing. Oh, you want the muffleness? Am I not projecting from my diaphragm?
Well, I'm just hoping it didn't make extra noise that cancels out your talking.
Oh, that'd be fine. Yeah. So that obviously is going to replace that. And that's where the coils are going to go. Simple. This is, Speedway actually does have kind of a universal DIY kits. And I was fighting about buying one of those because obviously they're cheaper than this, but it takes a lot more labor. And I've never really done this before, so I'll buy the kit on the first one and then cobble it on the second. You know, put my baby in this thing. I got to make sure it's somewhat safe from when I drive it all the time. But yeah, there you go. Pretty simple deal. And then, like I said, the nice thing about this truck is it's going to be, you know, 12 bolt, proper rear suspension, disc brakes, up for all power brakes, discs up front. So if we ever want to down the road, we could put a hot rod motor in this thing and really have some fun with it. So I'm going to read some instructions and probably start ripping this all apart. And we should be able, it should like, this is the old, I think it'd be a lot of prep, but the bolt together looks like it's pretty simple. So the rear end is disconnected. Unfortunately, I can't quite lift it high enough to get it out with the wheels and tires on, but that's fine. It'll just sit back there for right now. We're working up front. You know, come this side, I'll just kind of show you what I got to do. I got this plate of steel, which we're going to use here to repair this frame rail. So it's actually not quite as bad as I thought. It's got a little bit of rust, but it's actually nice, like up where the holes are is perfectly straight and thick. So I'll just kind of cut a little, that's a little rough there. I'll probably cut a little square out there, and I'll weld it in, and what we got is the exact same
It looks
thickness.
like a face.
Yeah, we got the same thickness of steel, and right on the corner here is actually in good shape. So what happened is, obviously where the shackle was, stuff just got jammed in there, sat for years and years. That side I'm gonna hit with the grinder real quick, make sure it's decent. But it should be okay. And you can see we have these slots on the bottom. There's holes in the bottom, which are good. The shackle was originally riveted on the bottom and then there, so 4. And then this here, you can see these kind of line up. So we'll nut and bolt that in, gotta drill some holes in there, and then there's 2 on the bottom, so it'll bolt together. Weirdo. And that'll let us have all our stuff there. So that's fine. So I'm gonna get doing that right quick, and then I had the torch out to kind of straighten this out, but it's, same thing.
Uh-oh.
I might just kind of cut that out and weld a new piece of plate in there.
You didn't do a good job.
Well, I kind of lost interest, and by the time I screw around all that, I was cut out and weld something in. Now we got the welder out. So we'll get that dialed, and then kind of go from there. I'm wondering if I should just, let's cut it out, weld a piece in, be fine. Get that all taken care of. It'll have lots of strength in there, because the bottom's good, the top's good, and then there's this big giant brace that goes across, so that's cool. And then
You're wondering if you have to bead roller it?
No, I'm not gonna do that. It won't have that little shape in it. I was just thinking if I should plate it, like double thick, but I mean, let's be honest, it's probably fine. That's where the exact way the suspension was set up beforehand, so I'm sure it's obviously strong enough, and if it breaks, I'll fix it then, not now. And then I gotta get this out. She's in there. There we go. So this other piece will go in. So we got that all dialed. So there's really not a whole lot to it, but everything's gonna be held square and everything. We got a brace in the back and the front, so that's good. And then it gives you a measurement as to where to put the diff. But for us, I mean, we're gonna put it right in the center anyway, so it should be just fine. So yeah, I don't know if we'll set the lapsy camera up or something like that, and I'll kind of cut that out, get that all welded, and I gotta pull the welder. It's a disaster in here, but I feel like I'm just gonna keep working, because once we get that done, yeah, there's junk everywhere. In my defense, a lot of this stuff was in the bed of the truck. That's how I organized it. So, but yeah, we should be able to do that, no problem. Get that in, and maybe drag the rear end over, put it in place. Maybe that'll be a next video, I'm not really too sure. We got some screw around to do with all this stuff as well, but I like to get that 4-link in. I think it's gonna be pretty slick. The disassembly part of it sucks. It's a lot of work, there's no bones about it. But cutting, grinding, and all that sort of stuff. And then I had already done the step notch. So I didn't even read the instructions if you have to put a notch in, but I would assume you would, especially if you want to lower it like we're going to, so. And actually in the diagram, it had a step notch in it, so now. You know, I like to read one page at a time. We don't get ahead of ourselves. We got to the point where I need a drill bit, so we want to go a drill bit. Now we're going to keep working. There'll be the next page, will be something else we need to go out and get. But let's pull the tools over and get this all dialed together. Okay, so sure all this fits. Oh, that might need a little drilling. So I kind of welded all. I am doing a little higher, but I'm gonna put the metal piece. So it's kind of funny. Like it was, obviously that was pretty Swiss cheesy. We don't want that. But then by the time I got to the edges, it was full size, and then this is the top piece. You can see the top is full and the bottom is all rotten. So all that's out. Pretty simple now. We're gonna put this on like that, and then it's just gonna kind of bolt its way in. I guess I gotta mess with it a little bit, but that'll be like that. So you use the two, you gotta drill 2 more holes, but I'm thinking what I might just do. So you bolt it there, and then you got to drill through here, and I'll go right through that section we just welded in, and that's where one of the 4-link bars will go through and actually bolt on the other side of that. So it's pretty sturdy, but I think once I have it in, we'll bolt it all into place, and I'll probably just
Weld it.
give it a little weld there. Yeah, I mean at the end, not. We'll make sure we get the diff in and everything. But that way, otherwise, I gotta drill holes up in there and everything, and that's ugly, and I don't really wanna do that. So we'll use 4 bolts, which is all it had, and then we'll just zip, maybe even do a little zip on the bottom. And it'll be just sturdy. So yeah, you gotta do that, and then this bolt here, that's the drill bit, we had to go out and get a long one. So this will bolt through there. No, that can't be right. That's clearly too long. There must be another piece of hardware I'm missing. What would this be for? It's got to be for something. Oh, maybe it's for this. That would make sense. So we'll have to do that. There's all sorts. Everything's got. It's obviously one of these bolts because it's going to be a 4-link deal. So this is the coilover. This is the link bars, and then this is for the shocks and some like little relocating brackets. So honestly, pretty well put out. So I'll just kind of run the drill bit through those. We'll get that all lined up, and it's gonna be pretty simple at that. We'll put both sides on. The bars will hang, and then we'll put on the back pieces, and wherever the coil springs go, and we got to decide, I guess, how it's gonna be. But we should be able to have the whole thing hanging, and then maybe next video bring the rear end over because it's heavy and I'm ready for a break already. We haven't really finished anything. This part sucks, but now is the kit, hopefully being smart because it uses existing stuff, I can just put it together. So let's get that taken care of. I need those drill bits I just got. Where'd you put them?
I didn't touch them.
And we can start bolting this all together.
Fancy.
Yeah, these are on sale half price. It was still $100. Cobalt drill bits. So now, can't wait till I lose all these. These labeled in any way, shape, or form. Kind of shitty. So instead of using a step bit, we can actually run this the whole way through.
Is the step bit the triangle one?
Looks like a Christmas tree.
Yeah.
They're good, but they're not good for going like the distance. So we gotta just drill
Safety goggles for that.
I have my eyes closed, I think, so I don't pay attention. Just gotta auger them out just slightly from the rivets, or just a little bit smaller. Now this says here, there's no washers or nothing, I guess. No washers on front or back side, so we're not gonna put none on. They are Nylox, so that's cool. One, two. Boom! I should just make sure that's the right way. There was... Determine the left and right side. The lower forelink on the hole will be further forward than the upper holes. So the front... Do I have this on the right way? Yes. No. The upper holes on the brackets sit on the outside of the frame rail. Determining the forelink hole on the frame brackets will be further forward. The forelink hole will be further forward. So that's that, eh? Oh no. I think it's on the wrong side. Let's just turn the camera off while I ponder this. So I don't want to weld it on the wrong way. Okay, so that's...
It was on the right way.
It was on the right way, yes, because this...
Yeah, like I turned to show us and then
This just...
turned the wrong way.
You want this towards the front of the car. This, the bottom bolt has to be headed this top bolt towards the front. This is on the... that's what threw me for a loop, is I'm on the wrong side. This is the passenger side, and we're doing the driver's side first. So that's fine, so we got her all bolted in there. So now all we gotta do...
the front of the car this way or that way?
How do you drive your cars?
Well, because I have a concern.
What's this?
I think you have it on backward.
How?
As if you look at the shape here,
Yeah,
see this one,
yeah. And that goes towards the front, right? This is on the back side. Can you agree with me there? That'll be on the back side of the car. And that's the front side of the car.
okay, yeah, we're good, sorry.
See, if you let me hold it this way.
Oh, I see. Well, you turned and we couldn't see with you.
So anyway, that's that. Now all I gotta do is we gotta drill through here. So you use, I got a 5/8 bit, hopefully it's long enough. And we use this as a guide, so we'll drill that out right quick. And once we have that,
Sometimes the biggest gremlin in the garage is the girlfriend trying to help.
yes, you're a friggin' hassle. So then, basically it's put the forelink bars on. So they recommend 24 1/4 length, and I guess we just gotta decide. It appears though the adjusting side will be on the front side, because I think they're welded solid on one and adjusting on the other. So we'll do that. So these ones, I guess they're not two-way adjustable, so that's not ideal, but it is what it is. We'll set that how we set it. And then, yeah, we just put the brackets in, and it's just gonna hang. There's nothing we're gonna do there. I guess we can, yeah, we'll probably put this together and then put the diff in after. Of course, when they're doing it on the picture, they're using a 4 9-inch with no center section inner axle, so it's probably a lot lighter than what we're gonna do. And then actually there's another option here for a fancy sway bar, which we are not installing, but otherwise, yeah, and there was a picture back. Yeah, these guys, they ended up doing a little bit of a cut in the frame, so we've already got that, so that's perfect. So let's drill that out, we'll get the other side mounted, and we should be able to start putting forelink bars in, and like, it should be quick. So I think we got it all figured out. I don't know what these long bolts are for, is the only thing, but so this one is if we just taken it apart, so pretend we don't, that one touched it all together, look at that, ooh, ah. But now we know how it works. You just gotta drill these out. Actually, I think this side I might have already done, because I had the leaf on. Man, I need to get a different drill. I think I'm done with the yellow drills. Hot. A little bit of stuff in there. Okay, so that. Then, what's this stuck on? It doesn't really fit too well for some reason. That side does. What is this hitting? That one's a little cattywampus for some reason. Does this fit? That'll all fit. More like a 1/8 of a hole out. I wonder, that one was just right in line with the brake thing. Let's just see if that's the same spot. I mean, the nice thing is if it's not 100%, we can still, yeah, that one went up into it. Huh. There's some slag or something like that on that bracket. This should kind of go ahead just a scotch. Kind of seems like that's just what's going to happen there, unfortunately. So now, which one is right and which one is wrong is the real situation we're running into. This is all nicely TIG welded together. I guess we could, what? Everything lines up except that one hole. Wonder.
Will it just line up when you screw it in?
No, to drill that out bigger, which I don't really want to do, because the problem is, it has to go just a little bit, which will put the bottom link bar for sure more far forward. I really want to take the other one off to make sure it's the same. I'm gonna have to think about this one for a minute. I thought we were gonna put it together in one foul swoop. Turns out that's just not the case. So on this one, the piece goes, you know, just right below this little bend, but on this one it's actually a fair bit below on the front side, which I think this doesn't have. So we either got to cut this off and weld it back on, which is pretty lame, but I kind of feel like that's probably the plan, is make these bolts line up, eh? Because these are the ones that are really setting the everything, and this is just extra. It's a bummer. I really hate cutting up nice new parts. Then I'm just going to go ahead and MIG weld the crap out of it after. Okay, well, I'm going to modify this piece so I think it fits better. Arguably making it worse, but I gotta think this shouldn't have to be hammered into place, but hey, such is life. Okay, so what I did was I cut the bottom bracket off. I then put this bracket where I wanted it, drilled all my holes, and then I put that piece on, bolted it, and I just welded it on the car, and then I actually welded front and back, both sides. So this is, she ain't going nowhere now. Now the other thing is this recommends a 24 1/4 center to center, which it basically is.
How would you adjust that?
Well, this is a Heim.
Oh.
It goes in and out. So.
That's pretty trick.
Pretty trick. So let's just go ahead and double check this again. 24 1/4, so that's pretty close. And then it had the adjuster, like adjustment side forward. So we'll just kind of, this all is temporary. We gotta double check that tight. And it's gonna be a little awkward because it has to come out to tighten it. But let's just, for right now, let's just get this thing all kind of dialed together. So we'll call that pretty close. Now this one has this dealio here. So I feel like this is going to be, boy, it's got the nut up on one side and down on the other. I'll just match these just cause. Again, everything is loose. Okay, don't fall. So, put this together. It's still hot to the touch. And this should go like that. And this is what's going to keep the thing from going back and forth. So, yeah. Let's get this out of the way. So that's that. There's another thing in the instruction. What it wants is center line of this to center line of that one to be 36 inches. So obviously that is probably how far apart these would be or whatever, so it keeps it straight because it is a parallel 4-link. So that one there, this one, just like that. What are you looking at? You're not looking at me.
Bumblebee.
Bumblebee. You know what side the washer goes on, but just put that there, 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 and there. So all I'm going to do now, I got to put the nut on. This one's a bit of a hassle to get the nut in there. You got to kind of angle the dangle until you get in there. But that's that. Oh, I put this one on upside down. Whoops. It's gone forever.
No, I see it.
It's probably overrated anyways. What is... Just like that. So now that's where the diff is going to fit in there.
Oh.
Crosswise. And obviously once we have the diff in there, that'll keep the measurement center to center on it. So that's good. So we'll have to kind of carry on a little. So I'm just going to snug these up. Then the last thing we got to do is put the crossmember piece in, hang the coilovers. They'll bolt into the back. So the whole suspension will be together, minus the diff. And then when the next video, all we gotta do is basically undo the coilovers. They'll hang like this, hoist the diff in there, you know, put the coilover back on. And then we'll put some wheels and tires on it and kind of put some weight on it and set the pinion angle, and then we'll just burn it in all the way around. And we should be able to do it actually on the car. This will be super easy because we can get to everything. 4-post lift, thank you Wildfire. And that's kind of that. This is actually, once now I kind of figure out how it all works, it's actually pretty good. So I'll just get this nut going and that one going, and then we'll put that, we'll drop it down and we'll get up in there and do the cross member right quick with the coilovers. Pretty sweet. Okay, so the setup is all in. I mean, it's all loose, but you can kind of see how it would work. So pretty simple. Once the diff's in there, that'll hold it all. This top bar had some screwing around. So partially me, partially I think just the way it is. So I put this step notch in. So this bar, it's actually the right length where it butts up against the inside of the frame, like on the other side. So you got to kind of put it in a big angle and then do this. But I couldn't do that up here where the frame gets really big, and then at the back it kind of, you know, gets a little smaller. So I got it in and I managed to kind of bash it in. Of course I mangled up the threads going in, so that's not ideal. But now that I see it, what I think I might do tomorrow is if we just get some long, like these are 1/2 inch. So I think there's some twist and this and that. I mean, it's an old truck, let's be honest. I'll put some 3/8 bolts in there. I'll squeeze it together so the frame and all that's right around everything. And I'll take this out, but then I'll be able to just weld it right in. So I can weld to this part of the frame, the top and the bottom, and then it'll have like a 3/8 grade 8 bolt in there versus just this 1/2 inch, which I think is probably the way to go anyways. This is essentially what everything is being held up by. And I mean, I guess at the end of the day, the shocks were on there, but now it's the whole weight of the truck versus before it had the weight of the truck front and back. So to do that, and then honestly, if we wanted to brace it or do something else, probably isn't the end of the world, but I'm sure it's fine for now. So I think there we have it. I'm gonna leave it there for now. Yeah, I think next steps is pull the diff out. I gotta cut all the brackets off of it, and then we'll have to kind of set it in here and kind of go from there. But welding this will probably be the next logical step. So a couple of things, I mean, the kit being a little wrong there was a little bit of a, we had to hot rod it a little bit, and then this was a pain to get in, but I'm gonna go ahead and say easily was me with this kind of side step kit. So such is life. Or let's be honest, it's a 75-year-old truck. Maybe there's a small chance the frame is tweaked. Just saying. Some old farm boy would probably use it as a 1-ton, as a half-ton, right? But that's that. Kind of a neat little deal. So we'll get cleaned up. I'll come back tomorrow and we'll put that diff in. Strong arms behind the camera here. She's been working out here. We should be able to throw that in. And really, I mean, the more I look at it now, I'll get that all welded up. That'll be in. We can literally just heave it in there, like on the whatever. Use the jack, or well, I guess we're using the jack to hold the truck up. We'll have to figure some way out. Floor jack, at least the little ones, bring it up. It'll be sitting all together, and then we'll put some wheels on it, and we'll have to do something there to put the weight on it. I don't know what, maybe a ratchet strap or something. I guess we gotta decide what the ride height will be. Yeah, a couple of tack bolts here and there won't hurt it. Put the weight down on it and then see what happens. But that's it for me. Thank you so much for watching. Do me a favor, subscribe below. Check out Danny's t-shirts. And
you can get every single one of these things actually for once.
Oh, really? For once. Check it out. Make sure you give her attitude in the email. She needs that.
Aww.
And we'll
ddspayshop.ca.
Oh, that's what it is. All right. We'll see you on the next one. Can we even ship stuff? Because Canada Post is screwing us.
By the time this video comes out, it should be fine.
Maybe. All right. Thank you. Goodbye.
Have a little joy.
Yeah.